Kia ora. Today is February the 5th. It's a Sunday, for those that aren't counting, 2023. Been a while since I did a morning ramble. No particular reason, just really didn't have a lot to kind of add to what had been said before. Um, but I figured I should probably throw something up, just to let people know that I'm alive, if nothing else. Albeit a little hairier, a little hirsute, I think is the term. Dawn's been putting quite a bit of video up. She's been fairly busy. If you've been watching those videos, you'll see that I'm kind of larking around in the background, so don't think I'm not involved, please. But usually when she's doing it, it's because I'm doing work, and so precedence and all that. Ramble for today. So I woke up in the wee hours of the morning. Dogs have been doing their thing. Unfortunately, responding to a lot of coyote slash dog activity in the area, so they don't sleep well, which means I don't sleep well. It's just kind of how it works. Dawn's up in Ohio at the moment, doing another run as we kind of get, I guess, closer to getting rid of the or selling. Getting rid of sounds horrible. It's like putting down something, but getting the Ohio property ready for sale is the thing, or the albatross, because it's kind of the thing at the moment. Maintaining and juggling budgets for two properties is challenging at the best of times, so it kind of is what it is. But anyway, the topic for today is minimalism. So I'm not sure if this is an epiphany. Maybe it's just because I've got too much time on my hands at this particular moment. But the thing that kind of came to me as part of our move, and this is not for everyone, so don't take this personally if you're a fan of a lot of space. One of the key things is when we did plan the move, is that we knew that we would have to downsize. And by downsize, I mean just get rid of all the George Carlin quote unquote stuff. And we have purchased a machine shed, which we're using for storage, for setting up peripheral power and all those good things. Maybe an office. We'll see what happens in time. But the key thing I'm talking about with regards to minimalism here is really questioning exactly how much space do you really need? How much room do you really need? Now, I guess you could go the I need a lot of space because me and my spouse or partner or whatever, we need to have room on our own. Dawn and I don't have that. We're quite happy to sit across the table against each other, and she's doing something and I'm doing something, and we'll talk occasionally, and that's kind of how it is. I'm not sure if that's normal, but that's just us. We're happy in each other's company, and that's a good thing. So we don't need a lot of room to kind of get away from each other. And let's face it, we've got 16 acres, so if someone wants to get away from someone here, you just go for a walk in the woods and you're away. But the minimalism I'm talking about is really, how much room do you really need? How much space do you really need? And some of this has been triggered by my, considerations as we get closer to finalising the plans for the house, and the footprint for that, and the number of rooms and the purpose and so on and so forth. And I guess the trigger for this one was a brief discussion I had with Dawn about making sure that when we do put the walls and the groundwork done, the foundation work done, which we already know what we need to do, making sure that we have sufficient overflow, I guess, for doing stuff through walls, because we're planning on an earth bag house, and you can't really easily uproot them or drill holes through them and stuff like that. It's you have to plan that ahead of time, by way of making sure that you've got capped piping through walls so that you can actually use that later. You don't need to use it straight away, but if at all. But basically, you've thought about that. So it's just some of the little things. And so that kind of led me to the minimalism thing. How much is enough, in terms of design for that. And Dawn had kind of said, I want a kitchen and big cooktop, and I plan to do a lot of canning and stuff like that. But the other side of the coin is, how much work do we need to put into making sure that we have piping for water and stuff like that. And Dawn kind of threw me sideways, I guess. She's like, well, I didn't really worry about that because I figured we'd just have a 5 or 10 gallon bucket worth of water in a filtered container, or like a Berkey or what have you. And I was like, oh, actually I hadn't really considered that, because I really don't need continually running water to do my kitchen duties. I just need sufficient volume and pressure and hot water to do cleanup and all those kinds of things. But really, from the inside of the house, we can keep it fairly minimalist and fairly simplistic. So that kind of threw me a little bit, because we hadn't really talked about that in any great detail. Or if we had, I'd blotted it out because I was doing something else, because my brain works like that. So spinning back around on the ramble. So really, the zillion-dollar question that kind of went through my head was, well, really, how much room do we need? So I'm kind of looking here, and you can kind of see in the background that this is the camper, and this is the large living area / dining area, and we have a breakfast bar, and if you have, I'm going to move this. You can see it's a little bit messy, but we have a full breakfast bar and refrigerator and all the bits and pieces, and I can look down at my power now, because we have solar going into this, and I can see we don't have a lot going out, because we run a lot of stuff on propane, and it's late in the day, and I've got 100 watts coming in, so it's not really a lot of power, but I've only got 20 watts going out, and the battery is almost 100% full. I think I woke up this morning and I had 0 watts of consumption, which is just like, hang on, your house uses 0 watts. That's pretty minimalist, right? So I guess this weekend, since Dawn's away, and I've been kind of circumspecting and thinking, and had too much time with dogs and stuff, that I'm kind of wondering about really how big an area you really need. And a lot of this is to be happy as well. So, I have an up-to-date, recording this now, an up-to-date M2 MacBook Air. It's the latest and greatest MacBook Air. So it's, modern tech. And that'll be good for X years. And I look to my right and I see the graveyard of other MacBooks, which I need to get rid of, because that's just money basically sitting there, not doing anything. And a bunch of other stuff as well. And I'm like, what do I really need to be happy? I have enough room so that during the work week, I operate on my work stuff, and I'm quite comfortable with that. I've got plenty of space and plenty of room, and working internet, which is, a luxury. Power, we have autonomy with regards to that. We have way too much solar at the moment, and more coming, and not enough to use it on a day-by-day basis, unless we're driving large appliances, which we could very well end up doing. But I'm quite comfortable in this area. It's a reasonable area. Having a couple of dogs running around, I will be fair, inside, particularly when they're wrestling and doing what dogs do, that's a thing. At that point, you wish that you had cats, because cats are smaller and they take less space when they're kind of, preying on each other or whatever. But dogs are dogs, and we do love our dogs. Today has been a challenging day, just FYI, but ultimately still love our dogs. And that minimalism kind of extends to other stuff as well. So I'm going through my game library at the moment, putting a lot of stuff up on eBay because realistically, I don't have enough. I don't have enough players, and I don't have enough, not even time, because I'll make the time if it's important. It's more of a this stuff was purchased for a reason, and because I'm a collector and I like reading it and stuff. But there's other stuff that I want to get on with, and you can't do everything. And at some point, you have to realize that you can't do everything, and you can hang on to stuff in the hope that you might be able to use it one day. Kudos if you end up doing that. But right now, we're not in that place, and this kind of keys back into the minimalism again. So for those of you who have homesteads, because we're homesteaders, we're building a brand new homestead. We are in the throes of building our property out again. There's going to be fencing going up, and livestock, and we're going to have chickens and guinea fowl, and hopefully cattle and sheep again. God, I miss my sheep, and maybe even a couple of pigs. We'll just kind of have to see. So we're going to have animals. So we need to build for that. We've determined that we're going to be autonomous in terms of power and water and all the stuff that you need. Air is plentiful and thankfully clean. And from a lifestyle perspective, I don't really need much more than that. Both Dawn and I are doing keto at the moment, and we're both losing a lot of weight. We're naughty. It's not uber keto. We could, but again, minimalism or the minimalist homestead. Don't sacrifice quality of life. If you enjoy certain things, don't feel guilty about it. But just recognize that too much of a good thing is not necessarily a good thing. So we're both kind of working towards that. And Dawn is the front person. She's the extrovert. She's doing stuff in the community, whereas I just kind of sit here and record videos like this and people wonder why the hell is he doing this, and I just go, yeah, whatever. It's my introvert nature. So it's just a whole lot of stuff kind of happening at once. This ramble is really going quite off the course. I guess my mind is kind of wandering at the moment. Work is good. I'm enjoying my work again. I can't say that I was there late last year, but I'm hopeful that things are going to pick up again very soon, because we're moving into a fairly substantial project, and that project is looking to be interesting, and I thrive on interesting. So fingers crossed for that. And then on top of that, we obviously have a lot to do with the actual homestead itself. And as I said to Dawn, Dawn and I were discussing a while back, being not that long ago, is it likely that we're going to be actually working on our earthbag home this year? And that was the question I posited. And if we do, it may be nothing more than getting to a point where we have the foundations set, and we're focusing on doing that, and anything that we do is gravy. And the reason I asked that is because, again, we're looking at selling the property in Ohio, and actually fully making that transition or commitment to the Tennessee property, and then relocating Dawn's kids, step kids down, which is a big change for them. So it's going to take some time for them to adjust and settle into a new paradigm, and then grow out our infrastructure to accommodate the minimum needs for everybody in the collective family. So whether you can achieve that within a year, I really don't know. I think that's a pretty hard pretty hard task, to be honest. It comes down to time, and time is the finite commodity. Well, money is a finite commodity too, but you earn that through spending time. So time is kind of the finite commodity. So anyway, we're up to the 15-minute mark. I just thought I should put another ramble up because I haven't done one for a while, and I'll kind of postulate this because I'm kind of in a mindset where I'm thinking there's lots about homesteads and lots about small farms and growing small farms, and there's lots of stuff around mental health and blah 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 blah, all that kind of thing. How that relates to people's sense of being or sense of worth or sense of purpose. And I guess my brain this weekend went down this minimalist path, and then I went, we've talked about the homestead, and what about the minimalist homestead, and what does minimalist really mean? And minimalist to me may be different from minimalist to Dawn, maybe different from minimalist to you, but is there value or power in that? And I'm kind of going on the lines of yes, there is, particularly in a world where we spend so much money on crap, basically, and we think that purchasing things actually gives us, and trust me, I'm a collector, I'm a book collector, so I know about purchasing things to feel good, but does it really add value, or does it really enrich your life? And what really is important? And some of this could be, related to age, but I'm kind of, I guess, not questioning, just trying to encapsulate or wrap my head around some of the stuff that we're doing, and in a mindset that allows me, at least, to actually refocus and repurpose on things that are actually genuinely important. And then hopefully be able to achieve those goals a little bit quicker. Otherwise, it's going to be a case of, we need to do this now, need to do this, need to do that, and you're kind of back and forth, and you lose a lot of momentum and purpose, if that makes sense. And then talking about the minimalist homestead and what that really means. It might be something I kind of explore a little bit as a mind experiment. Anyway, let me know if this is something that sounds interesting to you. I don't know if anyone's actually ever talked about this. Maybe they have. I haven't really looked. This is just a thing that's been kind of mulling in the last couple of days, and I thought I would share it. So if you are watching this and you think minimalist homestead, what the WTF, and or you have some feedback and some thoughts, and you maybe want me to kind of explore this a little bit more in a probably ranty mode, then please let me know, and I'll try and accommodate. Otherwise, this is Sunday. The weather's great. We're loving it, and I hope that things are good where you are. This year's been interesting already, and we're into Feb, so 1 month is already gone. So 2023 is on us with all the stuff that is going to be unfolded. So enjoy it. Kia ora, as always. Kia kaha. Stay strong, and we'll chat again soon. Ciao.